I'm in my fourth act, everybody. So do the math. And it's really funny because of the fact that I really pondered, what am I going to do with my fourth act chapter? And everybody, I came out of this world, wanting to help people. That's just my DNA. And my first job was as a nurse. And my through line has always been helping people. And I said, so many people stand in the shadows and they don't let others see their talents, their possibilities, their unique solutions, their uniqueness, their amazing, innovative ideas, whether it's in a meeting at their work or with their friends, their community, or even speaking in front of people for their business or other people. And I said, I want to help people find their voice and find their future, to actually equip them with the tools to get confident, with the tools of putting together a talk and really engaging with their audiences. So people say like, wow, she's so likable. He's amazing. I want to listen to him more. And oh my gosh, that young lady needs to come into our talent career chain and that business. I want to talk to them more about their business because I was so enraptured with what they were saying. And really, it's about helping people be their best. One of the elements that we do is that in addition to, the public speaking coaching, we actually will work with people individually and do an assessment of, what are your strengths? Let me know your personality. Because whether it's for an individual or whether it's for a group training or a workshop, it's all about equipping you using different pathways that we call it to become an engaging, compelling, and confident speaker. It becomes like how to get over your fear of public speaking. How do I even put together a presentational talk? I've never done this before. I'm presenting at a networking group about my business. Where do I start? What do I say? How do I actually make sure that I don't look like a stiff board or robot because I'm so nervous? How do I, move around the stage? And actually, people will always say, like, I hear these great speakers. How can I do that? And I say, well, tell me what you're looking for. And then I bring out the best in people, right? And it's about getting over that point of, I don't know how to do it, or I'm fearful, to getting that confidence, giving them the tools and the techniques and our pathways to then go out and shine, 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 shine. One of the points I want to be able to achieve with my business is to have people know that I'm here to help them. We help you by getting to know you in a coaching program or in a workshop or in a training class, who you are. You are unique, you are amazing, you are special. And we are going to help you find what I call your secret sauce. Because everybody is not like me, and oh, goodness gracious, we don't want everybody like me, right? It'd be very boring to have the same type of presenters every time. But what we do is we help you uncover that secret sauce. We bring you then into our speaker suite, our learning hub. And we also are going to work with you one-on-one and in your workshops, as well as going to your talks, looking at a video of you speaking, giving you feedback on that video to say, this is what you did well, this is what you want to, work on. And we also help people put together their talks, as well as how to do their messaging that's going to connect with their audience. Because when you work with an outline, when you work with your why for yourself, but also the why for your audience, it takes a different perspective because it takes us out of our head and into our heart for service. And that's what we help our clients with, is really getting them so engaged with their messaging and their service that helps them really craft that compelling speech and that presentation. We need to be thinking out of the box. We need to be thinking about how can we share all the information about us One of the points we share with people is that you develop handouts. We call these also lead magnets as well. A handout that has information about what you're speaking about at your talk, or maybe that's linked to your social media post, or maybe to your blog post on your website. Hey, do you want to learn more? Would you like a copy of this worksheet? Or what else do you want to know? And let's schedule a call. All of those lead people to giving you their email address. And everyone, the email address is key to building your business. This is where you need to bring them into your email list. You need to be able to nurture them. You need to be giving them value through, hey, I have a podcast that just dropped. Oh, I have a blog. I have a newsletter for you. The key point is getting people's contacts information, but you do it with purpose. And that's what the lead magnet, the handout, does. When I'm speaking at a conference, I oftentimes will give people a QR code, scan the QR code, you can then download this to your phone, etc. And everybody puts in their their name and their email address. We also like to actually help people do something a little novel. It's a little bit old school, but I'm seeing it more and more, and it's raffles. Collect people's business cards or a piece of paper, put it in a bowl, and pull up somebody's name to win a prize. Now, don't make it a $50 prize. Don't make it a discovery call. Make it a really, really, really good prize. So, for example, my social media manager spoke, and she gave a $400 raffle to a social media, program with her. Well, of course, you're going to get everybody's email list for that. The other thing that I have found that I still use after the pandemic is insert into your PowerPoints. It's called a polling technology. And this is how you can get real-time feedback. There's a QR code or a number that people put into a URL. And it comes up on their laptop or on their phone, the question. They answer the question anonymously, and you get immediate feedback on your slides. Whoa, you can tell if they're, connecting with you. And we always use that to say, hey, what is the tip you're going to use? What did you take away from this class? Because when you look at the answers in a polling technology, you see wow, it is resonating. It is resonating. Look at all of these answers. And then you know what else I do when I engage and connect with this polling technologies? I will save those screenshots of the poll results, and I will actually put those sometimes into my social media to say, it was so exciting to work on this session today. Look at the results. Look what everybody walked away with. And remembering everybody that you do not end any of your talks, presentations, or speeches on a Q&A. It drops dead. I've learned this over the years from the experts in public speaking. You want people to end with a very high point. Hi, any questions? Okay, thank you, bye. I put the questions in before the end, and then I will put up, I'll have people work together. I'll put up a polling technology that you can just throw up the different words. And I'll say to people, what are you going to do next? Or what resonated with you? Then what you do with those results, you come in as a speaker, and this is where you do your motivation, you do your affirmations, you pull it all together, and then you wrap up your closing as to, look what we have been able to achieve today. Look what you have done. This is amazing. And this is what you now can do. And these are the results and benefits you're going to have. Because of the fact that when you do all of these techniques, you're taking it beyond the conversations that we have in a networking event. You're taking this into purposeful value. You get their email address, their list, and then you get the feedback. And always do this at the end, everybody, because you want people with that polling technology to leave with a high and an affirmation. I am the one. I was not a cheerleader. I was not a pom-pom girl, but I known to whoop it up and say, congratulations, you've all done a good job. And I applaud the audience, because when you end that way, you're going to be memorable. Your goals and dreams are achievable as an entrepreneur. And you don't want to be in the shadows, right? Being the best kept secret anymore. You want people to know about you. You want people to recognize you. Wow, she's on social media. She's giving a talk. She always gives value. I want to do this. Because when you do a networking session, I think we've all done networking sessions in our days, right? And we meet a few people. They may or may not be the target people we want to work with. But when you get up and you speak in a room about your fabulous talents, your services, your solutions, how you help people, get over those challenges or give them the opportunities, this gives you a visibility that is unlike any other. Visibility in the promotion, visibility in the room. And then the other thing is people are going to refer you and talk about you. It's important to understand very few people buy services, consulting services or products necessarily just because of your website. They want to know how great you are, and people hire people they know and they like. And the more people learn about you in that room are going to talk about you to other people, and therefore you are now recognized as someone who might get a referral. Because the visibility drives growth, everybody. It drives growth. It has for me. I've grown 2 businesses off of public speaking. And Warren Buffett, who is, as we know, one of the highest, billionaires' earnings out there, he was very shy as a public speaker as well in college. And he took a public speaking course, and he said it grew my influence and my business by 50% because I could speak well and I was in front of people. Because everybody, to just sum it up, if prospects don't know about you, you can't help them. You can't serve them. And speaking engagements actually expand your reach far beyond a small networking session. This is something that I don't see out there that people teach. And I typically have developed this framework because I was a stutterer, and my fear of talking in front of people was more than, oh, have a potato chip. Oh, you have a dry mouth, just drink some water. Oh, just, shake your hands out. Oh, just roll your shoulders. Everybody, that did not work for me. And it didn't work for me because my fear was not superficial fear. My fear was rooted. My fear was rooted in what we call the 5 why framework. I asked myself 5 times why I was afraid. And the 5th time I said, I'm afraid of messing up and being considered stupid, thinking I'm not going to be seen as credible, thinking people aren't going to like me, my stuttering is going to come back. But when I asked myself that why 5 times, it all came back to my fear of public speaking. I'm afraid my stuttering is going to come back. So ask yourself, why? Why am I afraid? And that answer, well, people aren't going to like me. Well, why are people not going to like you? Well, because I'm not a good speaker. Why are you not a good speaker? Because I'm afraid. And then as you go deeper down the 5th time, you're going to actually land on that specific problem. Because oftentimes we can also have this problem with, our environment growing up, our environment actually elsewhere tells us we're not good enough, tells us that you can't do it, tells us that, oh, you shouldn't be out there speaking in front of people and bragging about your business. Well, you're not bragging about your business. And you can rewrite that story. You can rewrite that imposter syndrome. I had it too. And that's what we do with the 5 whys. Once we understand the core reason, then we work with different categories, and one of them is imposter syndrome. And we actually work with people to actually design that personalized action plan for them and their preparation, rehearsing as well as the day of and a few minutes before. Because for me, I do get physical reactions, everybody. I mean, my team sees me and they go, I can't believe you're nervous. I go, I always get nervous. It's always going to be there because you want to do well, right? And you learn to live with it and walk into it. Because once you know what it is, why you have it, what category it is it imposter syndrome? Is it something like you're getting a physical reaction? I got to tell everybody the story is when I first started speaking at conferences, I was very confident when I put in the proposal. And then I would go in and I'd see how big the room was the day before. So I always checked it out the day before. And that morning, I said to myself, why am I doing this? I want to cancel. And I really did that. So if you start it and you get that fear, I want you to understand, you walk into it because remember, your purpose, your goals, your dreams, your legacy is greater than your fear or not knowing how to do it. I actually got that 5 why technique. It's actually a technique that's used in quality management circles of every industry for doing what we call a root cause analysis. And it's the 5 why technique. And then for our program, we identified, well, what do you do after that? Well, let's name it. Let's categorize it. Let's provide some, unique techniques to help you get over that, and then have you implement it. And then, of course, sometimes the things work. So then we work back together again to say, okay, what's working, what isn't? Let's talk a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about this so we can put in that personalized action plan. I actually have worked with a woman locally who is a retired banker, and she has developed her own, coaching program and equipping program for people to manage their finances. And she came to my talk, and this is one of the talks that I give is how to take your presentations to a conversion, how to transform them. Because oftentimes we would go in and speak just about our services, what we do, but not how we help people, the compelling solution and the benefit and the result. She's heard me speak, and she followed that framework from my talk. My talks are powerful. I don't hold anything back. I mean, it's like 150%. And she said, it works. I booked more clients. I booked more discovery calls because she said, I focus on your core tenets. What is the pain or opportunity or challenge? It's about them, right, everybody? So the first step is pain, opportunity, challenge. Second step is your compelling solution. And remember, put in those differentiators in there. But the one piece that people really forget is the result of working with you. What are we going to see? What are we going to achieve? And then from there, you always will say at the end of your talk, you always add what's called a call to action. And make that very specific for your topic because of the fact that it resonates with people. And I always say to people, and I have them put it in a polling technology, and then I share with people, now I want you, so okay, you've said what you're going to do. I want you now to write it down and give it a date. Because if it's not written down, you're not going to do it. So I transformed her from talking about the business to how the business helps the client. And how they're going to be transformed and have a result that you show them the possibility of. You remove the barriers. Because what we always say is, when they work with you, can they do it smarter, faster, or easier? And that's what you focus on. Because it lands every single time. And everybody, this is not a Liz Wool technique. I got this from lots of, very big companies that do this, and it works every time. So I've actually learned from some of the masters on that, and I share that with people. Talking about themselves every single time. I. They're not incorporating what we call the story. So when the banker now talks about her business, she tells a story of somebody she worked with, and she incorporates that storytelling in this. Julie was, 55, and, she wanted to retire early, and she wanted to know how can she make that happen? And that was her challenge or opportunity. Then the banker went in and talked about the solution for them, not about me. And then the result for them and not about me. Because people are not there to listen to your story. They're there to see how you can help them. And everybody, it's always about how you help them. So when you incorporate that framework and you give an example of a story of someone you worked with, they then can see how you can help them versus you just telling me, oh, I'm an accountant and you can buy all these things from me. Or an accountant who says, by working together and working on your tax planning, working on your W-2s, working on your projections for the year, etc., I was able to save my client $10,000 this year. And that actually happened with one of my clients as well. She changed it from a Q&A to a discovery call. And that's how it's done, everybody. Because you all can think, hey, man, you tell me $10,000, I'm signing up. Right? But when she was just listing down everything that she did, she says, I was only getting questions and answers. And I was never getting a phone call. And so that's what you do. It's not about you, it's about them, and focus on them in the whole talk. And you will be booking more connections and the opportunity to flip it from a quiet room to possibly a discovery call. Of course, we can't promise anything because it's all in how you deliver the talk. But definitely don't talk about yourself, everybody. The only time I recommend people telling you to talk about themselves is if you're bringing in a compelling story about you that showed your transformation that will resonate with individuals. That's the only time. Like me sharing about my stuttering, right? That was appropriate. Oh, wow, everybody. This is so fun. And you're saying to me, how can this be fun? It's because of your passion. It's because this is where you are going to shine, shine, shine. And one of the points is really starting with a structure. Who is the audience? Why are they there? What do they need to hear from you for you to help them? Don't take a talk that you've used a million times and not customize it or develop it new. That's why I say I tailor everything. I might have something that I use, but it's never the same for the same group of people. You start with that structure, the pain, the solution, the result, and the call to action. You write those down on a piece of paper. You then determine what type of messaging do I want to add to that? Do I need to provide facts and figures? Do I need to be describing something? Do I need to help them build confidence? Do I need to be more clear? Really write that down. And I mean, this is the point that is the story. This is your success. Hone this down. Everybody, it can take you many times. And I don't recommend you do this in PowerPoint. You do this on a laptop or a piece of paper. Iterate it, revise it, revise it, revise it until you like it, until it's crisp. And then from there, you can then say, what is the example or the story of the person or the company or the group I want to put into that pain solution content? You can have a lot of stories, put down a lot of stories. You've heard a number from me today. But which one is going to resonate with that audience? And the storytelling must include feelings and emotions. People find us likable and they connect us and they can be influenced and persuaded more when they know that you know their world and that they can relate to you. And then the next thing is, everybody, please practice, practice, practice. Your voice, your body movements, your body gestures, your vocal variety, and stand up and practice. Videotape yourself. Go to the room where you're going to be. Videotape yourself. See how you look. Now, the first few times, is it going to feel awkward? Oh, yes, everybody. But everybody, that talk I told you about in corporate America where I had to do my talk, I was, I had the stomach problems and everything like that. And I walked up there. I was so nervous. I mean, I was feeling it all over my body. And I was behind this huge podium in a room of 400 people. And don't ever do that. Don't ever, ever, ever start with a big room of people. and my right leg shook the entire time behind that podium. It happened to me twice. And that is when I said, well, I have some nervous energy, anxiety here. I got to get moving. So I got moving across that stage because it got my nervousness out. And then that turned into my trademark at conferences in my in my career in medical research consulting, because I walked the stage so much, and it all came out of fear. And it was just amazing. So just recognize that you need to be able to really put that all together. And the only way you're really going to have that content nail it, connect, and be seen as credible and likable is by rehearsing it. You don't want to do it like I did, everybody, in front of 400 people, okay? I had no idea. And that's where you truly know that my purpose was greater than my fear, right? My purpose and my goal. I say start with an interview format. Somebody says, hey, we'd like you to talk. I said, I would love to use an interview format where, we develop the questions, I provide them to you, and then you ask me the question, then I answer it. And the reason why this is really great is you control the questions, you practice it, and that interviewer is going to prompt you and really wants you to succeed. And this is how I help clients do it first, is just do an interview or a conversation. The other way that I have people do this too is be on a panel, say with 3 or 4 other people, whereby you're just being asked questions. Just being asked questions. And I've actually coordinated these. I've developed people to do these as well. And it's all about the pre-planning. Because the through line on both of these, everybody, the similarity between all these is the questions, you write down the questions, you can even bring them on little cards or pieces of paper. I recommend people do not use electronic devices when they're doing these panels and interviews, because for me as an audience member, that is so distracting. I had somebody actually using her phone to give her talk, her keynote. And she just wasn't all that experienced. So everybody leave the tablets and the devices aside, use the paper or the cue cards. And then that way, they're low risk entry points. You're set up for success, and the person asking you the questions, the interview, wants you to succeed. And know your material, because someone will say something really great on my panels, and I'll do a follow-up question, and I know they know their material so well, they'll answer it. So know your material really well. And you can actually say hey, can you please not, throw in any questions that are not here, because this is the first few times I've done this. And that is, everybody, how you get out there. Because you're in front of people, you're speaking in front of people, and you walk away you not only do the, that's over, but you also go you walk out proudly with your shoulders back, feeling really pumped up, as I say in my generation, and go I nailed it and I feel confident. When you're starting out, know your lane, know what you're good at, know what you're confident at. What are you an expert on? Where do you have the passion, and start there. And then the second thing is knowing what you want to achieve with that talk. A feeling, an action, an inspiration, oh my gosh, I can do this. Basically, your objective, your why, and then really going deep into this, because that's what's going to help you succeed starting out. Just starting with those points can help you. I'm so excited we've had this time together today, and lizwool.com is my website. And we actually can find me on Instagram at Liz Wool Speaking Presentations, and on LinkedIn as Liz Wool Public Speaking. And you all can email me at liz@woolcg, woolcg.com. Everybody, do this. Put this in your strategy. Plan it. Follow me on social media. We have videos that we're bringing out and a lot of content that we're bringing out. And sign up for my newsletter that's on my website and just get those insights and plan it. It needs to be the pillar, needs to be a key pillar of your business strategy is public speaking. Don't be the best kept secret anymore, because you can shine, and now everybody's going to be coming to you. And you all are amazing. You can do this because people need to know about you and how you can help them.